Welcome to the Healthy Brain Podcast. And this episode is all about the benefits of practicing yoga. Before I get into the health benefits and specifically the brain health benefits of practicing yoga, I want to welcome you to join in on my free fall reset challenge. I'm going to be hosting it from September 1st to September 30th, a full 30 days, and it's free. And I'll be providing a fall reset longevity tracker. I'll be going live every week for motivation and coaching. And in addition, I'll be providing a yoga class and a guided meditation every week of the challenge. It's going to be really great. And the topics that I'll include will be longevity nutrition, stress management, daily movement, glow up self-care tips, decluttering your space, yoga, meditation, and breath work. So I hope that you can join me. You can find the link to join the group in the show notes. All right, let's dive into what are the health benefits of yoga. There's a lot more brain science now over the last few years about the benefits of yoga. Many people think that yoga is just relaxing. It's good for the muscles, for mobility, for stretching, but it's so much more than that. I've actually been practicing yoga since even before my 20s, like as a teenager, and I became a yoga instructor quite a few years ago. And my practice has changed. I started with Ashtanga yoga, practicing that power vinyasa yoga in the hot room, loved it, and did that for many years. And my yoga practice has changed now. It's evolved into more of a therapeutic, and I do more of a slow flow, um, hatha yoga, yin yoga, restorative yoga, yoga nidra as well. I'll briefly talk about yoga nidra and the benefits, but I probably will do a podcast at a different date about yoga nidra and the research and the amazing benefits of it. But what I really wanted to emphasize is that you can practice yoga one time. It's just like meditating. You can meditate one time, you can practice yoga one time, and you can see some benefits. You can experience some benefits. Maybe you'll feel less stressed, maybe you'll feel improved focus, but it's really a consistent practice that helps change our brain. And I'm going to dive into the brain and the nervous system benefits of yoga. And I hope that after I talk about it, that you'll look at practicing yoga more often. That could be 1 to 2 times a week for yourself, or maybe 3 to 4 times. And remember, it doesn't have to be an hour long. You can get these benefits from 10 to 15 minutes. But once you get into yoga, you'll definitely be practicing at least 20 minutes. So the benefits, so let's get into just overall that research has shown that there's less shrinking of the brain with people who practice yoga consistently versus others. So there's a benefit to brain health because our brain, anytime it shrinks, and we know that in patients with dementia, the brain actually shrinks. With age, our brain can shrink. It doesn't mean it shrinks for everybody, but generally it does shrink. And that's due to a couple of reasons. It's some health changes, hydration, but it's also how much we use our brain. And the less we use our brain, the brain is like, well, you're not using me, so I'm just going to decrease in size. So that's a very general view of what happens. But overall, yoga can promote more of a robust, healthy brain. Now, there's also in the nervous system, we know that people who practice yoga, there's an increase in parasympathetic nervous system activity. So the sympathetic nervous system is the fight flight, when you're always like in a stressed mode. You're always on. And the parasympathetic nervous system is the rest and digest. So there's two pathways there, and they should be balanced. But many times, if you're under chronic stress or if you've had a lot of intense acute stress, your sympathetic nervous system will be highly activated. So, what yoga does is it brings back more of a balance, promoting parasympathetic nervous system activity. What that does is it results in decreased anxiety, decreased stress, and other mental health conditions or situations where you're feeling like that anxiety and that inability to turn off. When you practice yoga, you're able to tap into that parasympathetic nervous system activity. Another thing that happens in the brain, which is really cool, is there's increased gray matter in some areas of the brain. One area that's in charge of the self-regulation, so your emotional regulation, that's increased. That gray matter increases in the activity in that area of the brain. There's also an increase in gray matter in the cerebral cortex, and the cerebral cortex is in charge of information processing of the brain. And also, there's an increase in activity in the hippocampus, and the hippocampus is in charge of new learning and memory. And that is really a benefit, is which the researchers are showing more so that with yoga, people can improve their memory, their attention, their awareness, thinking, their overall language. That can possibly improve with practicing yoga. And it does this through changing the areas of the brain, such as the hippocampus, the amygdala, the prefrontal cortex, the cingulate cortex, and the default brain mode network. The other thing that what I found in the research is there's an improvement in working memory with just 20 minutes of yoga. And that's very promising because I, of course, have my coaching program where I work with people in improving their overall health and their brain health and achieving goals, fitness goals and health goals, and all the different types of goals as a coach. But I also still work as a cognitive rehab therapist, and I often work on working memory with my patients. And improving working memory is challenging. And with practicing yoga, the research has shown that practicing yoga can improve working memory. I believe it's because there's other research to show that mindfulness, having a practice of mindfulness, being present in the here and now, can improve working memory. So yoga is a moving meditation. It is a mindfulness practice. So I believe that's the reason that the researchers have shown an improvement in working memory. Overall, there is this protection of cognitive abilities with long-term yoga practice, which is really promising. One of the neurotransmitters that's been tested or shown to increase is GABA. And GABA is a neurotransmitter that promotes relaxation, which results in decreased anxiety. There's also a promotion of neuroplasticity, and that is rewiring and growing of neurons. So many benefits. And another benefit is the cross-body movement in yoga. So that's like lifting your left leg while stretching out your right arm. That is cross-body movement. That helps to coordinate the brain hemisphere. So that can be really helpful for brain health. Now, I mentioned a lot of these benefits are for the movement yoga, the ones that the yoga that you've seen, where it's the stretching, the hatha, the vinyasa, maybe the yin, the yoga, restorative yoga. But Yoga Nidra is a non-movement yoga where you are either lying or you're lying down like in corpse pose or shavasana, or you're reclining. And Yoga Nidra incorporates imagery, body awareness, breathing techniques, progressive muscle relaxation. A variety of different techniques are used as you're listening to the yoga instructor. The yoga instructor is just guiding you through this imagery and muscle relaxation, and it's so awesome. I love Yoga Nidra. Well, research has shown there's a decrease in cortisol levels by practicing Yoga Nidra, regulating inflammation in the body, improving sleep, and improving mental health. So the research is newer. There's more and more research coming out that we'll see in the coming years, but it's very promising, this benefit of Yoga Nidra. And it actually could be under the meditation profile versus just the typical physical yoga. But I included it here because it still can be so helpful for your brain health. If you're ready to start, then, and maybe you have never practiced yoga, there's many places you can either start at a yoga studio. You can check online. There's many on YouTube. There's even studios that offer classes online. I do recommend, if you're just starting to look, start to look in yoga studio, so you'll get some better direction, and maybe then you practice at home. And don't be afraid of being new to it and trying something. Everybody starts somewhere. And even though I've been practicing for years, there's still more that I'm learning, and my body changes as I get older. And but being able to practice yoga allows you to do other physical things like your workouts, your walking, and it just helps overall for your health and for your brain health. Make sure that you join in on my next fall reset challenge, and I hope you enjoyed the podcast. See you next time.